if we leave it as we have stated it, it'll have to come back to the board before we can do anything. Is this what you mean?
No, the way we really should make this motion then is that we investigate it and consideration be given to it and the president be empowered for us to go into it. Report back to the 5th district for the GSNA. You know how we could do it.
Board meeting, 2 meetings before the following day.
Oh, well.
Yes, but I think we're going to have to notify GSNA when we're coming in, really. Because Ms. Litchfield has mentioned that just very few have even called her or written her or said anything to her.
We'd never have a letter or any communication, and just brought up at the board meeting.
Well, this way it was supposed to be brought up. The district, the president goes to the board to bring back the information, so they won't have to do so much writing.
Right. I agree with you.
But you got it marked.
Some refreshments that day.
Well,
Oh, we go subs, something 11.
Oh, how to say that?
Where are we gonna have Friendship Day?
I think we've got to wait for the motion so we'll see what we're voting on. While the motion is being written, we should determine what officers and other persons shall be bonded, fix the amount of bond for each, and approve the same.
I don't know how to really word this. Y'all can
We had
word
a motion when we changed over, when we were being threatened to be sued, that Mr. Henderson draw us up a comprehensive insurance program, and in which involved full coverage for everything and the $300,000 liability. And it includes the bonding for the president, the secretary, and the executive secretary. We at that time had the firemen's, and it was discontinued. It's been about 5 years ago.
You mean the treasurer?
Treasurer should be on it.
Treasurer. Well, excuse me.
You pointed to her and said the secretary.
Well, executive secretary with the treasurer, and then you would include the president now that she has power to sign the checks. That would make 3 people. So it can all be done, and our insurances are due in July. I think we bonded about $25,000 apiece. I believe that's what it is offhand.
Is it your wish that,
Let's hold them up.
well, we'd have to see what they,
What they recommend.
Y'all can add anything you
At
want to
that
make this
time, they made me give a
comprehensible.
statement of every dime I owed and everything else on there, but now they do it by position rather than personal and references and so forth.
the motion is that investigation be made and consideration be given to the 5th District nurses, to 5th District officers.
No, your
Being
officers aren't
bonded.
bonded, it's the office that's bonded. It's the
With
secretary's
GSNA.
office and the treasurer's office is bonded, but the individual's not bonded. You have to name them by name. The office is bonded. The position is bonded. No matter who has it. She can turn this thing loose as treasurer and say Carol still be bonded.
Did I finish reading it? With the GSNA plan, I think was the end of it. I move that investigation be made and consideration be given to 5th District officers being bonded with GSNA plan.
In other words, we join them.
Yeah. End of discussion. This,
I second it. You can put my name on it. I second.
in discussion. All in favor of this motion, please say aye. Opposed, no. Carried. The bylaws say that we select a place of deposit for funds, provide for and authorize their investment. We are at present using
You've been using that for years and years and years, and I wasn't gonna say one word about it, but do you know we are not treated 1/10 as courteously in that bank as we are in several others around there. And I don't wanna say it. Well, we use Citizens in Southern, both the registry and the district, and for a while they got us mixed up every time. And, they haven't.
Couldn't have got to the bank, Fulton Canyon, East
What?
Orange.
I have a preference, but I wouldn't state it because I feel like that's being partial. I mean, the most courtesy is extended to us in that vicinity. But I feel that I'd rather not even
You go
state
to
the
the
bank, but
It is,
Citizens Southern has not been very courteous to us.
we presently are using Citizens and Southern for our funds savings too.
We don't have, that's Atlanta Federal savings. We used to have a nurses service fund down there in Citizens Southern, but just the one, the regular
What
checking
bank do you
account.
find that's the most courteous?
Well, the one that I enjoyed the most has been the Bank of Georgia, National Bank of
As I
Georgia.
said, that's the greatest bank in Atlanta.
Well, I
as far
think
as
it is
I'm
too. This-
concerned. One of the greatest.
Well, now since you brought up, let me take this.
Savings at, where they've been,
That's down at Atlanta Federal.
Atlanta Federal Savings and Loan. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you. Then, any further new business which we can't take care of now because Earl is leaving?
All right. Thank you.
That's all. We got through now.
Anybody knows?
Agenda.
Any, oh,
The one that was circulated is what I was going
I believe we've done everything on there. If there's no further business, the meeting is adjourned by common consent. I think we better have the auditor's report.
It's probably, I mean, the new members may not realize the registry did close on August the 1st, and so we had the accounts audited by our professional auditors for the registry. We have two statements here, one of the assets and the liabilities, and then we have the statement of operations. For the assets, the cash was $771.09, and the prepaid rent was $125, and furnitures and fixtures $2,592.71. And the liabilities, the unremitted payroll tax was $67.25, and the nurses' equity was $3,421.55. And the total liabilities in the nurses' equity was $3,488.80. And then the operation of the nurses' equity for the 7 months ending August the 1st, 1968, the revenue dues was $5,750, dues non-professional nurses $2,850, and the bill heads $135, which was a total of $8,735. And the expenses through this time, salaries was $10,102.94, supplies and miscellaneous expense $59.84, telephone $355.41, rent was $1,000, insurance was $10, and the audit was $300. Taxes and license was $79, payroll taxes $503.71, postage, I think I've gotten off my line, I'm sorry. Postage was $4.47, and flowers was $44.68, and then the total is $12,460.05, and the excess of expenses over revenue was $3,725.05. And the balance of the nurses' equity of December 31st, 1967 was $7,146.60, and the balance in August the 1st of 1968 was $3,421.55. And then the note here, the Nurses Professional Registry terminated its operations and formally closed its business August the 1st, 1968. I move that this report be adopted.
that the report be adopted. Any questions or comments about the auditor's report?
$200 left in the registered employees.
752. There's
Seven.
231 now after we paid for closing everything. See,
Oh,
we had to
that's
pay
what
the
I
Dime
want.
Messenger service for
Oh.
moving
Yeah.
twice. You've got 231 now.
We had to pay the auditor for doing that.
The
so
audit,
that's why
which
we
took
had-
the 300.
I don't know what the unremitted tax is. We'll hear from that a little later on because the auditor didn't tell us where it went. We had to send the 453 to the employment security.
We gave $231.14. Very much money.
It's been very much.
Any further questions? I don't believe that was seconded.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that the auditor's report be accepted. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Will be 5. And for information, the 230, the amount of money there has not been removed from the account that it was in. We have kept that account. We have not put this money in the district account. Although we've been told that we could do it. It would be, it is the district's money. We have still kept it separately. And we'll discuss a little bit more about this under new business. Ms. Bailey, have a report of the executive secretary.
Well, I've given you a little written report there, so giving you an idea about our membership there, we still lacked about 3,751 of meeting our budget for this year and of our proposed budget, so we're going to have to work on membership for next year. We received today, just before I left, 4 big old boxes of material I've been telling you about, but we have not received the applications for 1969. However, any that come in now, we're saving them for that, since all the reports have been cleared and the convention. We got one today. And we also got another $10 on our lawyer to fund during the week. Sister Christian, I thought I had the office cleaned up. I've been working 8 weeks to get everything stored and everything completely itemized and so forth, but we're starting all over again. And I think that everything has been taken care of. I appreciate the opportunity of going to the convention, and we've been busy since our last meeting trying to get caught up.
Mr. Hudson was at the convention and he said the first order of business when he got back to New York would be to see that we got these application forms, and so they should be coming very soon. All right, we have a report of the standing committees program, Mrs. Lott.
We have a program committee meeting tomorrow. We are hoping to plan the programs for the coming year and to put primary interest and emphasis on our friendship fellowship dinner. We would like to know the wishes of the board if they think the board would like to have such a program this year, and any suggestions from you and the board regarding programs or fellowship dinner.
I have a question. What does the program, of whom, or how shall I state it, who is the program committee this year? Are we the same committee, or do we have another committee?
We haven't appointed the committees yet, because our
we're the
bylaws were
same.
not passed, were not acted on, and there is some reference to committees in the bylaws. So,
Until
I
the
believe
new one.
you're serve until relieved. A new committee is appointed.
That's my only question.
You had one person, to leave on that committee was Mr. Hammett. Otherwise, the other members have been contacted.
Would you like to express any feeling at this time to Mrs. Lott and her committee relative to the fellowship dinner? Do you want to have it? Do you not wish to have it? Do you have any preferences to who and where and what? Would anybody like to say? Would you like for me to call them by name?
You'll have to poll these people.
I'm gonna poll. Ms. Wells, do you think we should have a fellowship dinner? I'm coming around the table.
Well, it has been pretty well attended in the past. As to where, I haven't any real bright thoughts on that subject. It is possible that it might be scheduled out at Emory, but that would have to be cleared with the office out there if it were. I think we have a reasonably inexpensive dinner that could be arranged out there if we could get if it isn't already spoken for on the name. Have it.
Sister Christine?
I
think
think
we
it was
should
well
have
attended
one?
last year, and I think it gives a nice spirit to the organization. It's really the only social that we really have together. I thought it was very worthwhile. And as far as the place, I don't really have any preference. It was nice where we had it last year.
Sarah?
I didn't go last year. Who was it last year?
Stovetop.
You think we should have one?
Definitely. I think it's a good idea now because
Yeah,
I've
we
never,
should
I haven't
come
been
this
to
year.
one. What is available at Emory? What is this on?
We have the food service building out there, which has a blue room that it can expand as much as would be needed. I would, at the time of making reservations, need to have a pretty definite idea about how many would come. I could make a tentative reservation and,
How many does the Blue Room hold?
Oh, I don't know how many, but as many as would.
I imagine it would be enough, and this might be a better atmosphere.
They could open the,
And of course,
the
Caroline's gonna
doors.
get the bunny club.
Yeah,
for
yes,
it.
I got a thing from the Bunny Club and I threw it in the trash, and after I talked to her, I was, no, there's a Commodore. Has anybody eaten at the Commodore down there? And Miss Monaco's been doing such beautiful work for them and making such pretty menus. And I started to go by the other day, but when I saw the Bunny Club right next to it, I thought, well, maybe I better not
Definitely,
propose
that's where
that. I'll
you
keep
should go.
quiet.
Yeah, I think that would be really, Emory's nice now, rather genteel, so we might have a cheer.
We've had dinner at Emory several years ago in the Blue Room, the friendship dinner.
I know Carolyn's feelings on it. She likes the fellowship dinner. Ms. Lewis? No, not call on you? Okay, Ms. Wallace?
Never been either, so.
You think it'd be a pretty good idea?
What did you say, at Emory?
I've never been
she
at all.
said.
Oh,
Ms. Fitzpatrick?
Well, I think the dinner is fine, and I'd be disappointed if we didn't have one. We might think about where, but Emory's fine. I've always enjoyed every dinner I've ever had at Emory.
Ms. Hanson?
I think they're very nice. I wasn't able to attend last year, but, I mean, this year, it's still 68, isn't it? But I think they're wonderful. Well worth the time and effort, and I think, from what I heard about the last one, that bringing the student nurses in was, the last one I attended was, I guess it was year before.
They
last,
always
wasn't it?
invited every year.
Uh-huh. I think that's a real good thing, I think.
Mary, what about you?
Well,
You gonna sing us the door?
it depends on what I have to do. Oh, I'm all for it.
I think, since we polled the board, everybody is in agreement that we should have one.
They've said yes, you know, this is like being against sin, and I'm, you know, willing to accept this. Now, what kind of program would you suggest?
Yeah, this is what we need.
Do you want a serious program? Do you want an enlightening program? Do you want an inspiring one, or do you want to have fun?
Well, we could have fun and an inspiration and,
Put it all, yeah. Mo, are you committed to,
Not a thing.
well,
Except, I have one man that my own secretary said to me when she brought the letter back, said, I'd be ashamed to send this letter. So with that, she left. Now, this was a letter to the man who's supposed to speak to us Thursday. He is, from Emory, and he just sounds like a delightful person. I've never seen him. He's written this book about, medical quackery, and you know, I asked him a long time ago to speak to us, and he keeps giving me a date, and I keep telling him, you know, later. So I said in desperation, you know, we are going to have a friendship dinner. Do you ever go out at night? And I'm sure he's a lot younger than I am. He said he went out lots at night. But if he's as good as they say, this is the only thing I have.
well, is that kind of light? Has anybody
I would
heard
think
him?
it would be. Maybe, I
It
don't
sounds
know
like it
him.
might be.
But he could well be the speaker, and then if all of you could help in doing some other things, we don't want Mary to have to do all the singing. And we don't have another person. as
We don't want
had
you to
last
have to
time.
do all the work like you did last year.
But I think it could be a good thing. Of course, last year was a most horrible night. If you remember the wind howled, the rain
horribly,
blew.
too.
Yes, and you're sick.
But
Well,
I
we wouldn't
think
have to have such a long program, would we? Because dinner takes up a good little bit of time.
well, we
Whatever.
wouldn't have to hurry either, I guess, at Emory, because
It wouldn't cost us nearly as
Wouldn't
much,
have
I wouldn't think, would it?
Well, they can be a little bit flexible according to whatever type menu we would plan. And as I say, I wouldn't be sure about being able to obtain it on a particular time. But
well, then, I was,
Thinking
next
about
thing I
having-
was gonna ask you about date. There's nothing, I mean, we don't have to have it in, November, and we're into the month now, and so much is going on now. Christmas is a busy time. January, February, and March are rather bleak times, and I think it might be good for us to select something in these months. Because everybody's so
I do
busy with
too.
Christmas.
I do.
We could make it a
We-
St. Patrick's Day
Or Valentine's.
on Valentine's. That'd be different.
You know, you've got
Right,
February's
yeah.
hot month the whole
Yes,
time.
and we're so rushed now with your call meeting and your committee set up, and I wondered how we were gonna get it all done between now and Christmas.
February 22nd, and, when's Valentine's?
And we inaugurate the
14th.
president the 20th of January.
Oh, my, let's get over that.
Well,
So, what is your pleasure about timing?
Well, after Christmas, surely. Sometime later.
That'd be real good to do that.
Maybe March.
It'd be easier, if you consider an Emory, I feel sure it'd be easier than between now and Christmas, wouldn't it? If we put it off till January,
I would
February.
imagine so. I haven't contacted the office for a good little bit. But,
when is Valentine's Day? That's
14th.
February.
February 14th, isn't it?
So, well,
And
that's
it-
friendship, isn't it? Real
That's real
friendship.
I think that'd be a good
That'd
time.
be bring your husband,
Have
boyfriend.
Valentine's Day party.
Nurses celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we give a song.
And we
going,
don't
yeah,
have a
we love
meeting
it.
in February, so it wouldn't conflict with
Biden.
Section meeting.
section.
February 16th.
But I mean, our district, we don't have a district in February.
They give you a theme to work on too.
Well, oh, yes.
Well, Merle, I think you've gotten some good suggestions for your,
Yeah, now, the only other one you did, that you had earlier hadn't been put on the floor, and that is that the Americana is now doing all of the work for parties. Is this not true? See, if we decide to have it down there, we could just go to, the Americana would do the decorating and the menus and everything.
We got something.
$6. Yeah, all the health centers got it, and, I got one at home. I don't know what that was for. But I
I
don't,
sent you one.
yeah, I got one besides that. I didn't bring
I
that.
like Emory, but you all, see, this would be downtown. It's very convenient for me, and I don't want it for that reason too. February 14th, 1969 is on Friday. Isn't that good?
Friday.
Friday
I was
night,
just
you
looking
think
for
people will
it.
come to them?
Friday night's better than Saturday.
Yeah,
While
many
you're
people
looking
will-
at that calendar, see when the first Tuesday in December is next year, please, ma'am. I don't mean to divert you, but we were trying to check a date a minute ago for her, so the cards can go to the printer.
The first Tuesday in
Tuesday,
December,
2nd of December?
2nd of December.
Fine, thank you.
Is it, you think Emory would be centrally located for everybody?
It would be, I would
There's
say-
a parking out there too. They'd have to park over in the, across the
Where
street.
do you park? In the building?
Well, that could be a problem. They do have a parking lot, but the parking lot is a long way from the dining room. And I have a little ticket I can put in the slot and park inside, but everybody doesn't have that.
Didn't they make arrangements for your NSA section out there recently? They had me to add it to it on your last card. Were they able to do that?
We just parked right behind the food service building.
Well, you got special
Found a
permission.
place.
No, we just parked.
We just found a place.
But I never had any big
It would
trouble
have,
parking.
I'd rather have a personal contact with a lady over in the office. I will not have opportunity to do that, probably until maybe Thursday. I could have a telephone conversation.
Well, we were just gonna have the meeting, tomorrow afternoon. at
You were,
2:30.
well, I could probably have a telephone conversation and get some idea about whether a date's open or not.
They have had some lovely ones, some
Then,
lovely Christmas ones there.
My telephone is the office.
I've still got a telephone number in my pocket that I've been
Yes,
supposed
we're
to
not
call.
sure. That's very close.
Got to, maybe I won't be quite so busy tomorrow. First thing they're gonna ask me is, approximately how many do you think we need space for? And what is
125 is what
usual?
we always plan on, and they
How
give
many?
us a margin, 125.
125.
They give us a margin there that if we let them know 24 hours before time, that you can have 25 more or 25 less,
Yeah.
and not have
How
to
many
pay
did we
for it.
have last year, Carolyn? We didn't have it about 70 or so, did we? Or was it less?
No, we had more than 70. You had
I
more
believe
than
if we could work on it a little I longer, just we wondered could if do you better. remember, 'cause
We
I
for
know-
I don't
February
think-
the
I don't remember.
14th.
I think it was
Okay.
107, if I'm not mistaken.
We could We had make that many? some,
I believe we did.
tickets and
We had
send it to
reservations, some
everybody,
didn't
you know,
come.
Is there somewhere I could go and use this telephone now?
She's one right here, just online, getting outside line.
125 is what we usually plan on, though. That's what we told Stokers that we would
And you
plan.
know, I think if it was better weather, we'd have more.
Yeah.
if we had a program involving all the hospitals and things, see, that was the reason I was asking you, then they'd come more.
February's pretty cold, though.
Oh, it's warming up, you can tell spring is coming.
I'm sure it is.
It'll probably be the worst snow.
Because winter's really here.
Be our luck.
While she's making the telephone call, we'll hold this for just a little bit and
I
then
wanted to speak to the
go on to
office
print.
and the administration
I'm waiting
building
right now for
the
EATC,
schedule,
they made a survey of their membership, to
meetings
get that
and
card,
food service
get the
in
schedule
Parks Hall
card.
upstairs.
And what I'd hope to do was send this, and if they'll send them to A&A, they said they'd cut me down on it, but the new code, your calendar and your little card in December, all at one time, in one mailing, and then also announcing the January meeting. So if it's possible, we'll get as much of that
Oh,
done,
yes, well,
certainly
now, I
the
have the
calendar.
wrong number, but maybe
And
you
other
can
than
help
that,
me out a little bit
we have it ready,
too.
just send
What
it
I
out.
wanted was where,
The two more
you
sections
know, you
about
would
patient
schedule
health.
a banquet that is over in the administration building.
And bylaws, you know
Do you
that
happen to-
Ms. Pope gave her report
Ms. Schomburger.
last time we met, and we were to, take up bylaws at our last meeting.
7364.
But, they had not been, circulated
Well, I will try
sufficiently
to call her
long.
right now, but
We
could
would
you
have had
tell
to
me
have a
approximately, how much,
impossible
food
vote
service
on them.
would be per
So,
person for a real nice
we-
banquet?
A motion was made that the bylaws, be delayed until this month. So they will come up at our
Ms.
November
Norman?
meeting. Carolyn sent out a notice, and on the notice, it stated that if you have not received your bylaws, please call the office. So we've done
You wouldn't have
everything
any
that we've
idea
done
to
to
do
Only
do.
it
one
all.
person is called, and she was sent
We've done everything we know that, to do so that the bylaws can be acted on at this next meeting. Catherine didn't ask me to make that report, but she isn't here, so
All right, well,
Dr.
then
Bates.
I'll try to call Ms. Norman tomorrow.
And
And I'll see if I can get Ms.
finance,
Schomburger now, she has a plan.
She's
Thank
been
you
working
so
on it. In
much.
fact, I saw Miss Mace this afternoon. We're hoping that next year we'll be in better financial status.
I'm on the membership committee on Warner College this year. Legislation, Ms. Lane,
She sent in all of her reports, an annual report, and we haven't had anything since then. All the papers she has for the new committee.
Extension 7364.
membership and credentials, Mrs. Wood.
We couldn't arrange a meeting, so we had to send out a referendum vote, and I might as well tell a little something on me. I goofed on that by not having them all signed, but I got 7 back, and all 7 of them said yes. There are 3 of them on the outside of the envelope. Miss Stanley wrote us a little note how much she
Yes, I'd be
appreciated
glad
being on the
to.
committee, and I knew Miss Wood because I'd written a little note of thank you on the bottom, and the one other, but I did have that, and not a negative
How many
vote.
is on the
So, we have 9 on the committee.
Well,
So
7 out of
7, we
9
have the
is pretty good.
referendum vote, but that'll teach me a lesson to get the names on the bottom of them next go around. But at any rate, you do have these, and this will clear your files for all
The registry, the membership committee does recommend to the board then the names that you find attached to your agenda for membership in
This is
this
Carrie Wells
district.
from over at Emory Hospital. And I wanted to ask you, if
Any
you thought it would be
questions or
possible to
discussion of this?
schedule, maybe the
They
blue
all
room for
certified
February the
before the
14th for a general meeting. And it is a nurses group, a 5th district nurses group, which includes the Emory nurses also.
Had good recommendations by that.
Do I hear a motion
It is
that
available at
the names that you see here be
It would be
approved
at
for
9.
membership?
All right, and, now I know I
Somebody on the
was
membership
planning
committee
maybe
is
with,
second.
I second.
with, you know,
It's been
catering
moved and
services
seconded
and
that the
calls.
names
Could you
that
give
you
me
see
an
here be
idea about
approved
what
for
the
membership?
would
Any
be
question or
just a
discussion?
general-
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. that these names are approved.
You notice two of those people associates. One of them is doing volunteer work in Red Cross. And
Well, I
another
tell
one is
you,
getting,
would
a-
you
I
just
think getting a
reserve
degree out
that
there.
night for us, and I will come over by your office sometime very soon and talk to you, you know, in detail if you want me to.
There would be no report from the Committee on
I don't know
Nominations
enough,
for that to
right
pass.
now. I think it would be for a group. We would, probably like to make
No longer
reservations,
registering the
for
Sunday, not here.
125, and then give a definite figure a little bit
Overton
nearer the
is not
town.
here.
But that is usually the, you know, the
Do we have
size of
anything
the
from Ms.
group.
Overton? What about, public relations?
No, I have no report from either one of those, and I have one more.
Oh, you are, where are you?
I had one call, what I was fixing to tell you about, somebody wanted to use one of the pictures of one of the nurses. I don't know whether Miss
Oh,
Gamage
yeah.
got a call from this man or not. They're putting in a group of nursing homes, health care, and to Macon and other places and all, and I didn't know what else to do with it. He's been chasing me for a week, so I just referred him to the publicity committee. And, he wanted to picture one of the pretty nurses, and of course, we don't endorse anything like that. So, I don't
It
think
is
anybody
available.
followed up.
And I asked her about what the prices would be, and she didn't know, but she said she thought their minimum charge was $2. I think maybe we'd like to have something a little bit nicer than that, but I mean, the price, I would need to check with the food service, catering service.
Thank you.
You ask about that.
And now we are down to,
Haven't asked her about that yet.
while you were on the phone, we went ahead with what committee reports we had, and we really didn't have, very many except proof of membership. Now we're down to official publications, Ms. Wells.
I have just one on hand for you, just came in, Miss Citronbaum's renewals. I think that makes us about
The
63,
AJ,
yes.
You know,
That
I'm
committee's
on
going-
that committee, and I
It's-
made a move one time to eliminate that committee.
Coming up
because I
on
thought-
bylaws.
It is.
Yes, it'll be
So I just
third.
really haven't done any work, because that's sort of an individual thing, you know. So I really don't have any report.
Thank you. Report of, special committees, careers, Mary Conklin. Insurance, Ms. Fitzpatrick.
I had mailed my report in for the year, and I don't have one, I don't have my duplicate with me.
It was given in September.
Ms. Brochant,
No report.
Ms. Bud, Mrs. Bud.
And that's Miss Woody that was head of that professional practice. I don't know why I didn't put that down on that. And she was the old chairman.
Oh, I imagine many of the people whose name I'm calling at this time think that they are really off the committee because we would have appointed, ordinarily we would have appointed the new committees by this time. But because of the bylaws, we didn't call a meeting to do that, and we'll do it very shortly after Thursday. I'm not sure how shortly it'll be. A report of sections, EACT, Mrs. Burns.
Let me tell you what she did. She had us mail a letter to all of her members, all of the members, and then asking them to give where their location, where they lived, and what was our survey on what their preference were of meetings in order to set up a new date, and ask for their suggestions and all. And I understand that they are going to have a meeting in early part of December, and that they will change their programs, and they expect to have a very active EATC section.
Administrators, Ms. Fitzpatrick.
We had a meeting in October, and our secretary was not present, so we did not have the minutes read for the meeting before, and we had substitute secretary for the minutes of that meeting, Miss Sue Bennett. And at that time, Miss Rosecrans turned over the chairmanship to me, and Ms. Woodall is now our second vice president, and she is on the program committee, and we are planning a meeting for the 3rd of December, dinner meeting. Our meetings are usually dinner meetings. We have a program with the dinner meeting. We do not conduct very much business. We haven't over the years, but I believe that I think it would be a good idea for us to poll the membership of this section and see if we do need to change ours.
General duty, Ms. Bussey.
They met jointly with the occupational health at Red Cross and had, I believe, 25 members present. 23 of them were general duty nurses, which, to my knowledge, is the most we've been able to get at any meeting, you know, of that type for them, and it was on economic security. So,
I'm going to skip occupational health for the moment. Sometimes Ms. Langford can get in, but she's a little bit late. Public health, Mrs. Hanson.
We don't have anything else since the annual meeting. I don't believe we did have, what was our last meeting? We had, Ms. Ditchfield was our speaker. We had a very interested and wide awake question and answer period after she talked, and there is a lot of enthusiasm and much better understanding, I think, of economic security and welfare for nurses. We plan to have a tea in December, the second Thursday in December, and I hope we'll have real good attendance. That everybody would be welcome to come at the regular place in Fulton County Health Department.
Thank you. Private duty, Ms. Stedman. You didn't hear
haven't had any
from
report from her at all. I understood she changed the telephone number, that it was the last someone tried to get her, and they told me it was unlisted, so I don't know. I have not communicated with her. I gave her a message to communicate with you, and she didn't respond.
Any unfinished business? My agenda calls for a report of the ad hoc committee. The committee has not met. Well, we met about a month ago, I guess, and there were not enough people there for us to really do much work. However, we did review some of the reactions that we got from nursing service administrators and from the hospitals that we had requested. And we did get a reaction from the private duty section, which in essence was that they did not support the attempts that we were making toward a community registry. The other reactions that we received were very favorable and hoped that we would go ahead. And we do plan to go ahead, but we just haven't had a meeting to continue with this. Is any other old business?
I was wondering, Ms. Armstrong, is it true they're going to try to set up their own, or If they set up one and you set up one, I mean, is it gonna be you just gonna go ahead and set up one?
Well, we were, authorized by the board to move toward a community registry. And this special committee was appointed with this in mind. And this is what we were talking about. We had, had some help and, we'd gotten to a point where we needed some review. We sent out this material, you know, as sort of an interim report, and we needed some reactions for that before we go to the next step in setting up the registry. So that's where we are at the moment. As to the rest of what you said, I have it down for, to come under new business. Does anybody else have any old business?
Well, that's the reason I put that under there. I didn't know whether we were going from old to new. I mean, every time you finish an agenda, you wonder what you've left off. You have that strange feeling that you have. Should we tell them before we go to that they did not accept our recommendation for flexible membership? I think all this group should know it in helping us to work on membership. That we had hoped that it would, because members could join at any time during the year and it'd be consecutively through the 12 months. As it now stands, we still will have a calendar year. That lost merely by 3 or either 4 members. Four members. First time there was 3 members, and the second vote I think it was 4, and 116 I think voted for it on the first go around. And it was referred to the state bylaws and will come back next year. But the flexible one will give us more members, particularly from the new group, new graduates. And so if you get any inquiries, if anybody joins from now the first of the year, we'll just put them on 1969 anyhow, because the year is practically over. By the time we could process them, it would be before the membership committee would be able to meet. And we will be on the calendar year for next year.
This is not exactly old business or new business, either one, but I do have communication from Dr. Linton Bishop about a meeting, and it is tonight. Fulton County Medical Society and its auxiliary in cooperation with the American Social Health Association will present an evening program devoted to the subject of drug abuse. And this was written to me as president, but I would assume that it would be to any of the nurses who would like to go. We take pleasure in inviting you to attend this meeting to hear Dr. Charles Winnick, Director, Program of Drug Independence and Abuse from New York City, introduce Theater Atlanta's production of a short play, The Underground Bird. Immediately following this presentation, Dr. Winnick will lead a discussion on this timeless subject, and we cordially invite you to participate in this discussion. We are aware of your particular concern with this problem in our community and sincerely hope that you will be able to join us on the evening of November the 12th. The program will be held in the auditorium of the Academy of Medicine at about 8 p.m. and will be preceded by a short business meeting of the Fulton County Medical Society, which starts at 7:30. Should you care to attend, a buffet supper will be served at 6 p.m. Tickets are $3 each, and your reservation will be most welcome. I judge from this that you may go to the meeting if you desire to, but if you want to go to the supper, it would be $3. The Academy of Medicine, November the 12th, which is today, at about 8 o'clock.
They've had some posters up too. I know I've seen them at Crawford Lawn advertising.
I have another communication from the American Dietetic Association. I'm sorry, this is too late. On October the 7th, the Atlanta Dietetic Association will begin a nutrition information service called Dial a Dietitian for the metropolitan Atlanta area. This project has the approval of the American Dietetic Associations and will be sponsored locally by Atlanta and Georgia Dietetic Associations and the Atlanta Gas Company. The Dial a Dietitian program will be implemented by publicizing a telephone number which people can call to obtain answers to their questions about normal nutrition. Questions will be recorded by an answering service, and members of the Atlanta Dietetic Association will return the calls with answers to the questions. This seems to be done in several other cities, and we see this program as a challenging opportunity to provide accurate, up-to-date nutrition information to the people of Atlanta. You're publicizing a Dial a Dietitian among those persons whom you serve will add impetus to a project we feel can be mutually beneficial to professional groups and the public. So I thought you'd like this for information. We also have a few thank you notes. Secretary Regan.
First is the family of Thomas Alvin Wade acknowledges with grateful appreciation the kind expression of your sympathy. Then Miss Wade wrote a note inside. The lovely floral tribute of pink roses and white carnations was deeply appreciated. In the time of sorrow, one learns how much friends mean. Thank you for sharing my sorrow. Sincerely, Maggie.
I think most of you know that Ms. Wade's husband was accidentally drowned. I guess it was Saturday
Before the convention.
Before the convention.
The family of Frank Dixon acknowledges with grateful appreciation your kind expression of sympathy. And then gratefully acknowledging and thanking you for your kind expression of sympathy, the family of Dorothy Corsell.
You know, I'm Miss Mabel Corsell's sister is Dorothy Corsell, and Dorothy was
Secretary here, Miss
Secretary
Thornton,
here.
secretary. She was a very fine person. Had a stroke.
didn't
She was CVA. She died over the weekend. Well, about a week. I think she had a stroke Saturday. She worked Friday and had the stroke either Saturday or Sunday. But died was dead within the weekend.
and I think you know that Frank Dixon was Miss Elizabeth Dixon's husband, who's been sick quite a while and died, I think about a month ago. Is there any other announcements or old business? Well, for new business,
I'd like to ask a question about this membership that we just announced. Did I understand you to say these were placed on the 69 or these 68?
68. We're just approving them for 68.
For 68, these are.
Those have already been
Now
cleared,
they're
the
being-
ANA. They gave us the authority. We had the certification slip on them that we go ahead and send them in so they can go to convention and can vote. In the meantime, if there's any question about it, then of course they're not. And then that they officially approved by the membership committee and credentialed and so. For we were not able to have a meeting with so many other meetings going on at that time. But according to our bylaw, we're supposed to have you approve and elect them to membership.
We did Mr. Hudson sees that we get the new 1969 blanks, anyone paying their dues now will be 1969. I don't know any reason for them to wish to pay now and be 68 members. But, and I believe he said that the renewals would be coming out shortly after the new year. Is there any other business that you know of? Well, I think we have to discuss something here. It is my understanding that the private duty nurses had a meeting, the section, and a group of private duty nurses had a second meeting the same day, and they have decided, and I have nothing official on it, but it is my understanding that they have decided to set up a registry of professional nurses in the home of Miss Emily Zerbs. They have obtained Miss Hudson, Miss Dana Hudson, as parliamentarian. They have help me out, Carolyn. What's the man's name that's lawyer?
Edenfield.
Edenfield is their lawyer. And it is my understanding, again, please don't take any of this as official, but it is my understanding that Ms. Dixon is kind of the leader of it. And they do not plan to have any registrar who is not an RN. In other words, they have no plans for practical nurses, licensed practical nurses, or sitters, or home health aides, or whatever that category of people might be called later on. We feel rather strongly about this, and we did, I did, and Miss Atkins and Miss Overton and Miss Ditchfield and I met with Mr. Hudson at convention to talk over this. And it is our feeling, and I'm being very hesitant in what I'm saying here, because I don't want to get misquoted, but it is our feeling that the professional organization should take some stand about this type of registry. And I thought I would bring it to you, to the board, for your reaction and for your decision as to what we should do about it. And I might say it was recommended to us, and I guess I'm putting words in your mouth when I say this, but it was recommended to us that we should advertise to the proper people that we are not backing this group, that we do not recognize them as a registry, professional registry. It will purely be a registry of private duty nurses. So I'd like to have you discuss it and instruct me and Ms. Atkins as to what we should do.
You know, one thing I think they would like to know that in the response to the ad hoc committee, whether or not they were interested, that Piedmont submitted 10 pages, isn't that right? Anyhow, a list so long, it alone could start a registry, and South Fulton and Holy Family are also submitted lists on that Piedmont stated very definitely that they were ready, that they had outgrown their register, they were ready to go into a registry. That point was one of the factors in the community registry.
That's one of the things I failed to mention when I started up the ad hoc committee. We thought that even though we had a negative reply from the public health section, private duty section, I'm sorry, that this was not really a word from the private duty nurses themselves. This was word from a small group, and that we would like to have this information sent to the private duty nurses, to all of them. And so we had asked Carolyn if she would call the hospitals and the various health agencies and ask them if they would give us a list of the nurses doing private nursing in their agency. And this is what Carolyn's talking about, the 10 pages of names from Piedmont. And
included the practical too, as well as the graduates. They were requested from all groups. Only one hospital stated that they would not send the list if they felt it was administrative, and that all the rest of them said that they would. Some have been late, and I haven't seen them because they went to Miss Overton, except a few that went to the office. I do know that Miss Pope was on vacation and said her list would be submitted later. But there's one thing brought out at the convention there too, that the executive board there, and it was also in General Assembly there, that the minimum standards for professional registry, they would have to meet these standards if it was professional, and also that these standards registries be surveyed periodically and the standards upheld and sent to ANA. And the registry that was being contemplated could in no ways be a professional registry unless it did qualify through the professional organization and meet these standards.
well, of course, since we closed the registry, I think that more or less precludes us from having that type of registry.
Are the private duty nurses taking issue with the fact that LPNs and health aides are included in this community registry?
It's my feeling that they just don't want to take responsibility for that group.
I understood that there were only 19 private duty nurses at the convention,
That's true.
and registered there.
You mean
And
from
it
the
seemed-
district or
The
the
whole
whole
state.
No, the whole state.
Statewide.
And they used to have
19?
900, and it's down to about 599 now, I think is the membership.
I'd like to ask you, you said that this
I lost
committee that,
110 myself the year before. I mean, we did, not me. We did.
you said this committee that met up there, are these four, Miss Overton, Miss Ditchfield, Miss Atkins, Miss Hudson, and you met to discuss this,
Well, actually, what happened, you see, Mr. Hudson was going to be here, and this is his field in ANA. So we, Carolyn and I asked through Miss Ditchfield if we could meet with Mr. Hudson. And this is how it came about. You know, when we go to ANA, we're supposed to go through the state, and this we did. We asked through Miss Ditchfield, and she was present. And Miss Overton was present because she was more or less chairman of this special committee.
And he is organizational director and had been here at the request of all the private use of the 5th District. This board had requested that he be here, and he gave up a day of his
Before the register
vacation.
was closed.
Previously, I believe it was last July, anyhow, he had an all-day session down here during his vacation time and met with all groups concerned, the registry committees, the private duty section, they had 3 separate meetings, scheduled all day.
Well, to me, now, I haven't been on the board for a couple of years, but before that, I have the feeling that the board made every effort that was possible to keep it an official registry, keep it under the shelter of the ANA, the state, and the district, and it was not financially successful. There were not enough people that were with it, and I had the feeling that the private duty nurses wanted to be their own boss and didn't want our supervision. This is just very private in this particular group. Now, I love the private duty nurses. I love many, many of them. I disagree with the position that they have taken, but I feel like our responsibility has been fully, as far as that is concerned. We've done everything we possibly could. And if they want to go out on their own, they could not call it an ANA-sponsored or 5th District-sponsored registry. If it isn't, that's just, I mean, I'm sure that's what Mr. Hudson probably conveyed to you all, was it not? I would not want to block them because this is a free
Anybody
country.
could form a register that wants to.
Anybody could. So I feel like our hands are just tied. I mean, if they do, why then they
It could be a
do.
professional register without being official as far as the 5th District is concerned.
Well, it's
For
a
professional nurses,
Yeah, it's
oh,
professional
I
nurses.
think we all get a different,
This is what, I'll go a little further now that you have said that. Ms. Ditchfield as much as said to me, to us, that if we didn't do something like this, she didn't mean put it in the paper either, that she thought the state would. And I do feel that this is our 5th District's responsibility to convey to the hospitals and health agencies and the users of private duty nurses.
He also conveyed that the letter should be carefully worded and that our council should give us the directive.
But this board really did work hard to
You have
keep it
162
under
members
the-
now, which gave you less than $8,000. As you notice there, you had a deficit from the audit report there. All of them had been asked to support it. And the 162 included the 47 practical nurses.
You mean to
Now.
support a 5th District rate?
For this year. I mean, that's how your records stand now. 162 members joined, and 47 of those were practical nurses, which gave you a little over 8,000, including your bill heads and everything else, income from that.
Well, I think we would need to look into, have some research into what this group is doing. For instance, about bill heads. Now, if they're using our name,
They use the
this
5th
is
District
illegal.
private duty section. They were printed by Mr. Broshaw.
I think the name and the bill heads or anything that they use, which is not legal, should be looked into.
That's whoever is their head. I mean, it just.
Well, a section then cannot form a register. I mean, that we'd be on firm ground.
No, it would have to be under the They-
understand that, but I mean, and that's what I'm saying is our position is this is not possible. Public health couldn't form a register for public
No.
health nurses, so we've got a firm legal ground there. I think the sad thing, not in addition to that, is we're gonna lose public health nurses in this district. You suppose they will continue to
You mean the
support
private,
our
private
duties?
duty?
Mhm.
I think many of them are
We've had no
misinformed.
communication from them, and we have in writing communicated, but we've had nothing since
Yeah, I
then.
think they dropped
And
out.
our representative is not here today.
Miss Stedman, you haven't heard from them officially. Well, we were not operating an official registry. That's the reason it was closed, wasn't it?
Well, now, has
Close, 'cause
We
of
haven't
budget.
been operating an official registry.
Well, it was
And-
actually closed because of money. We did have supervision of it until we had to close it because of money.
Well, from the broader
And-
standpoint,
Yeah, in theory.
theory, it was
Yeah.
not an official registry because it didn't serve all the members. And if the district is supporting an official registry, it should serve each member, not just the private duty section. And I think that's something that they have felt all along, that it was their registry, and it was just a calling system for them, but it shouldn't have been. You know, years ago when we worked on counseling and placement and some negotiation of economic security and welfare, it could have been a real service to all members, but it hadn't been operated like that for years, so I think that this is just more of, I wouldn't think that there would be very many private duty nurses that would want to do that.
Do you have any idea how many nurses
You
are
have-
involved?
Do you know, Carol? I really don't know.
No, you have about 12 of them who have taken the leadership of them, not more than 12 who are being the spokesman. And so many of the nurses, I've gotten on the streetcar recently, and all they can say, we want a professional nurse. We don't want the homemakers. We don't want so-and-so. And I think they have had most of them are uninformed. I think they're confused. They feel like they're struggling for survival. And the leadership by the group that are wanting to.
I really think that's it. They don't know a community registry, and it's what a wonderful service it would be to the community as a whole. And they could have a section within that. I mean, that brochure that you, seems like if some special effort was made to get to them the
Well, this is something-
significance. I mean, you can take a thing like that and read it, and you can interpret it just like you want it, you know.
Well, if you remember, Ms. Hanson, at our September meeting, a motion was made that they invite the committee
Yes.
to come.
Uh-huh.
This has been ignored.
It was sent by registered, all mail, all
It was
communication is
received.
Well,
certified.
I know
to them
that
now,
was
but they-
true, because we all had copies of this. The board and the chairman of the private duty section was on the board, and either she didn't realize what, maybe she wasn't fully aware of what it would mean, but you look at this number, only 267 private duty nurses. Well, we have 152 public health, and I see we've got 2 more, so that's pretty good. That's amazing to me that.
Ms. Langford, I think you wanted to say something a
I
while ago.
wanted to ask a
question, you said that if the district didn't do something, that state would that be, GSNA that would do, registry, or state of Georgia from,
Well, I said this was a remark Miss Ditchfield made.
Well,
that
that's
she
the
felt
point.
so strongly about this. Well, you know Miss Ditchfield, and she has strong feelings about things, and this was not part of the meeting. She just said it to us that day. And, she is a member of this district, but I think she felt strongly that we should communicate to the hospitals and nursing homes and the other health agencies that this is not a 5th district registry. Did you, I don't remember when you came in. What, did you come in time that I said that some of the private duty nurses were setting up a registry?
No.
You didn't hear that?
No.
Well, it's our understanding that some of the private duty nurses have gotten together and decided that they're going to have a registry. It will be in Ms. Zerp's basement. Ms. Hudson will be the parliamentarian, and Mr. Edenfield will be the lawyer, and it will be set up. As I see it, it could be nothing more than a commercial registry. And there's several of those things around already. And they will only have RNs. They will not have practicals or anything. This is what, and we feel that, at least I brought it to the board to see if the board feels that we should communicate this to our stand to the various health agencies or users of private duty nurses.
We might just write a letter and state the facts that the professional registry sponsored by the district was officially closed on August the 1st or whenever it was, and that we understand that the private registry might begin operation, but that the 5th district was closed because there were not sufficient numbers to support a registry, or however you want to word it, but just let them know that we are not sponsoring a registry, and not say too much about who else might be trying to do something.
Did you leave that up to the lawyer to write the letter?
Would you like to make this in the form of a motion that we do communicate?
Let me ask you something. Ms. Lott just said something. If they've got Mr. Edenfield and they've got Ms. Hudson, and they've decided on this name of 5th District Registry, they must be basing this on something pretty strong to have the lawyer saying it's okay. And
We haven't heard from the
We
lawyer.
can't stop them from having it. This is not the point.
It's the
We
name.
can't-
the name, though.
But we can say
Private
that we
duty
do not
nurse.
recognize this as an official, the lawyer will word whatever
You mean with our bylaws, et cetera, concerning a registry, we can't say anything if they call themselves 5th District Registry? We can't.
Well, we're the 5th district,
Well,
there's
we
no,
put that thing on.
I think if we said 5th District GSNA registry, then we could say something about it, but
Well,
just
is that
5th
what they're
district,
saying?
I
5th
don't-
District
I don't
GSNA?
think
No,
Or is it just 5th
we haven't
District?
heard what name they would call it at all. All we know
What
is
did you say the
the
letterhead
statements that they
was?
have been, the
Bills.
statements they have been releasing have 5th District Private Duty Nurses section
well,
on it.
that,
We have
that
those.
would not,
Oh,
that would not.
That leaves out
Well, it has,
GSNA
I
on
think it
it.
has GSNA on it. It has the 5th District GSNA Private Duty section on it. We have
We have
one.
to make sure that.
how can they
section couldn't do
legally
that. That's
say
what
they're
I
the
think.
section? Can they?
Well, from the bylaws, have we said anything different that?
I don't think that they have a leg to stand on as long as they're trying to attach anything with 5th District GSNA. Because it will not be any part, to be a part of it, it must be under the supervision of this board and 5th District.
See, they printed
So
up,
unless you supervise it, you see, you would have, and I'm sure your lawyer would say the same identical thing, that this is the point, that they, and I think this was the point that Mr. Hudson was trying to make, that they cannot legally use the name. Now, as far as a registry, like you're saying, anybody could, maybe I could start one, you see. But as far as, using the name 5th District GSNA, they can't put that on there. If they, really, I think if they put private duty section even. I don't think they can even put private duty section.
but this, you can
Because
dissolve the
that,
section by
that
this
is,
board.
the section is a part of this, you see.
We would need to have
Legal.
written, what they have, not just what you hear.
It
on-
came
That's
up
it.
some time ago about the statements, and we had the insurance people to come down here. There was question about them as to whether or not they would, honor them. And we had to have an opinion, and we got an order from this board to see about it, you know, to see what we could do about it. The, auditors had us to put a seal on that. When Piedmont was buying so many of them, distributing them to their members, it indicated on the back that they were members in good standing in the 5th District GSNA. And at that time, there were statements printed by at least 3 or 4 groups. Ms. Zerbs printed some personally. Ms. Broshaw's husband printed some and claimed it was a typographical mistake, but made an error down there in travel expense. It was called to their attention. And it had 5th District GSNA. It did not have the seal. You see, they were not authorized to do it. And I'm chairman of the printing committee, and I know we did not have any statements printed. Now, the last ones printed, they sent, I got some from some of the members, and I have sent them to the people in key position concerned with it. And I feel sure, I won't declare it, that it does say 5th District GSNA private duty section. It does not state the association, but it does say the section on there, and it does not have the seal. But they are being used at this time and are being sold freely.
Are they operating the registry?
No, they're just using them and selling the statements.
I've forgotten when Carol asked you how many they had right now. How many?
162, 47 are practicals. Now that
This is with this present one with Ms. Zerbs?
No, this belongs to the organization, right? I mean, that's
Or
not
this
how
is
many.
the before? How many do these people that are forming, how many do they have in their
I
group?
don't know. We didn't go to the meeting. We haven't had a report except from our members who attended. And they did have it advertised on radio, television, and so forth to be there. And so I understand, I don't think they had more than 45, if that many, at the 2 meetings. But the same spokesman, you see, were in both groups, and they did appoint Ms. Dixon as the chairman of this committee to organize, and they did take up a collection for the lawyer. Now that we know, but we do not have a written letter to that effect.
How do we find out?
Well, I think he suggested we ignore them as much as possible because they can do anything they want to. And what we do is go through the constructive thing to let the directors and administrators know that plans are being still being formulated for community for the type of register
You
that.
see, if we don't do something like this, those people who are not represented here may not know that, or may think that this is the community registry that we've been talking about.
Well, I might not have gone far enough. What I have done here is that I move that the 5th District GSNA send a letter to directors of nursing service in the area and to the Fulton County Medical Association informing them that the Nurses Professional Registry sponsored by the 5th District GSNA was officially closed on August the 1st, 1968.
That's been done, hasn't it?
And we sent them that notice, that it was
That's been
closed.
done.
What you got to do now is to inform them that,
Would you be
working
willing to
forward.
say, and that any other, we'll get the wording from a lawyer, but any other, registries which may come off if not, official registry?
And also to the County as well as Fulton County Medical Society, since they've been to Fulton County and Fulton and DeKalb, it seems to me, Fulton and DeKalb Medical Societies.
And
those
how
would
about
be-
putting in other appropriate posts? Then that'll give
That
you
gives
leeway.
you wide.
Let's see. I don't have right off any wording for that, last part.
Could you say, and at this time, the, fifth district is not, of the Georgia State Nurses, is not sponsoring any other registry.
Yeah, well, wait a minute, you're gonna mislead them that way.
We'll, if we get the motion that we act in the matter of communication, then I think I know what you're saying. As long as we get the motion that we act, then we'll get the wording.
I sort of hate to
From
say that
below.
we're not responsible for anything else. This statement would say that we are not responsible for any registry. And I don't know whether you want to add, to me it's sort of self-evident, but,
You're not
Why can't you
sponsoring.
use the word clarifying the fifth district's board's position on registries under consideration? And then that would cover anything the lawyer would say. I shouldn't be putting words in for you to do, but I'm trying to think of a word there that would cover it. That'll let it be written to the directors and
to the
Let me
Fulton
know.
County, and DeKalb County Medical Association.
clarifying in the board of directors.
And other
Position.
appropriate health agencies or posts or because,
Well,
you know,
let's see.
nursing homes use them too.
Yes.
And, I don't know who else. While she's writing that, did anybody second it?
I'll second
Let me have
I'm
another
not
one, I'll
gonna
write
repeat
it
it
so
right
somebody
now,
can
but,
read it.
I think all of you know the intent of what she's writing. Is there further discussion of it?
I think it would be good if we continue with this sort of thing to get, some authentic information. If we had a copy of what they, in some way, or what they are using to, and something of, seems to me like with, those members that are of this district, that, they might be willing to give us,
There's been nothing in writing.
hmm?
There's been nothing in writing that we've had.
We'll be into
Ms.
it.
Honeycutt's
Well, you
private
had,
nursing,
I
she's
was
been
talking
there.
about the letterheads or whatever
Oh,
you
I
said.
have the statements, I have copies of those. I have some of both of those.
Oh,
Ms.
you
Honeycutt's
do?
gotten them for us, and some of the others have gotten them for us, and the registry got some for us previously.
Well,
We
I
have
didn't
copies
get
of the
I
statements.
didn't get, a straight
No,
thing.
we have
You
that
didn't.
because the insurance man, John Hancock, and some of the other insurance men came down because, it was a question of whether or not the nurses would be paid. And that came up a couple of years ago for their benefit, for everybody's benefit. And they met, now that's before you came in office, Ms. Armstrong, they met down in the office there, before you were president, and, discussed that. That's when we were seeking monies, and we were hoping John Hancock would give us a grant there to help protect them from all these imposters and also these people who might just have any type, and that we understand is being done now, that they're charging any amount they want to And for that reason, some of the private duty nurses don't want the registries because they are taking 2 shifts, making about
Well, I
2
think
shifts in one day.
This is just another reason why we do need to tell people that, in nice words, that we're not responsible for these people who are charging whatever they please and setting up a registry as they please.
But somebody needs to be responsible for it.
I was thinking they're members of the district, though. They are members of the district.
You can't do it, keep
No,
them from
not
doing double duty.
necessarily.
They can do all they want to. They can run in late on them from one hospital to another.
We
And when
have
people
no
are desperate
control
enough,
of it.
they'll take them because they need them that
That's
day.
right,
Well, that's what we're trying to find out.
Well, the control on that would, to a certain extent, be with the directors of nursing in hospitals or in health.
Oh, on that proposed registry, we understand that they did not want the calls to go through the directors, that the calls would be placed by the doctors. Now, whether or not they have made any contact with the doctors, other than a few out at Piedmont,
Doctors are not gonna do it.
oh, I don't know.
Doctors have something else to do with
Yeah. Well, I mean, whether they have a registry or not, I think they turn that thing off. Is there any further discussion? Then are you ready to vote? I move that a letter be sent to the directors of nursing service in the area, to the Fulton and DeKalb County Medical Associations, and the appropriate health agencies or appropriate individuals, informing them that the nurses' professional registry sponsored by the 5th District GSNA was officially closed on August 1st, 1968, and stating the position of the board regarding registries. All
Well,
those,
what is the position of the board regarding registries? We've closed it, but I mean, I just wonder what the implication of that last, sentence would be.
if I might say, for the person who wrote this in, I'm not sure. I think it is saying that, our position is that we
Are not responsible.
We are not responsible. This is not a GSNA sponsored, registry. Is this,
I think also that the ad hoc committee, we have an ad hoc committee that's working on a community registry, and that any other registry that may come up in the meantime, as you said, the lawyer's gonna word this,
He's gonna
is
word
not sponsored by us.
I think really, I think we understand what this motion means. And, the wording we will ask our lawyer to do to the law. All those in favor of this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you. Then we will proceed with it.
Let her have it.
Post haste.
Yes.
Now, I would like to go back and, ask Ms. Langford if she has a report of the occupational health section.
We met jointly with the general duty section in October and had Mr. Stanley Craven to talk on economic security. There were 26 in attendance and 24 on the general duty. We met at nurses home at Crawford Lawn Money. And that's the only thing.
Does anybody know of any other new business that we should take up? Will you then be thinking of and talking with people about any committees that they would especially like to serve on? The bylaws are going to change some things. I believe we wrote into the bylaws about, say, the first vice president maybe is, I don't have it in front of me, but maybe she's chairman of a certain committee. The state did this. So, in following through, I believe that the district will also have certain provisions in it. I believe it's also in the bylaws that they'll perhaps serve for 2 years. So when we are thinking about appointing these new committees, and as you talk to people you work with and ask them if they wouldn't like to serve on a certain committee, it would certainly facilitate this meeting that seems to go on and on right after the, well, usually it's right after the annual meeting, but this time, because of the bylaws, we're going to have it probably, hopefully this month. So if you would be thinking about that, it will make our meeting, which usually is pretty long, make it much shorter. And don't let people be embarrassed to say, I'd like to serve as chairman of, or I'd like to serve on the committee of, because we do need people working who are interested in whatever committee they're serving on. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Armstrong, couldn't we sometime, like next year before we have our election of officers, like we did with state, maybe have some type of piece of paper to let the people put their names on something? This would be much easier.
We have a card, and we have a surplus of them. Carolyn was asking me if we could use it this time, and it does at the bottom say, I am interested in serving on.
We sent that
Now,
out.
this does have other things on it. It has to do with pledging loyalty and support, but if we use these cards, we'll make an announcement about it and say we are primarily concerned. We are concerned with your specifying at the bottom of it what committee you would like to serve
Well, this
on.
seems really to have helped state this year.
Yes.
Really helped.
We didn't have to stay till midnight this time. We got out at 7 o'clock.
Well, we-
I did, you did.
We sent those out.
But she didn't get them though until she stood there and said, I'll just wait for you. You remember she had 6.
That was very
That's when she got
helpful.
about 50, I think.
Well, that's what I thought Thursday, while we had already sent it out during the spring when we were asking for monies, for the membership drive, no one volunteered for a single committee. And we have about 200 of them. Rather than go to expense again, I asked if we couldn't do them Thursday. Just ask for volunteers and have them sign there. And if you're going to keep your committees 2 years, wouldn't we keep the same committees we have except replace them now, and let the new ones for 2 years go in on the?
We appointed
With the new
them for
president?
one year,
Well, I know.
and we're still under those bylaws.
Yes.
But when we appoint the committees again, we will appoint them for 2 years.
Then you disregard the ones you have now and go from scratch.
This is
on
my
it.
understanding as parliamentarian. What would you
The
say?
following standing committees, with the exception of the chairman of the committee and nomination, shall be elected by the board of directors at or immediately after each annual meeting to serve until their successors are elected.
Doesn't say how
You
long.
got 2
Doesn't
years
say.
in there though. Wait a minute.
Somewhere there's
Oh,
Annual
one year.
meeting.
I know, but you've got 2 years
That
for
means every
duration or 2 years
Wait a minute,
in
wait a minute.
rotation, because that's what's had
Wait a
me
minute, and on
confused.
all standing committees, members shall be in the majority and may be elected for a 2-year term in rotation.
That's what I.
And may be.
They could be longer than
But they have to be,
Each
Thank
annual.
The world was fenced around it. so
Well, I was
that-
gathering that maybe y'all were following A&E's and the states on that, that it takes a good time for you to get used to it, and then maybe when
well,
the new
this
president
is,
came
this
in, that
is,
it would.
this is the point. Some committees may need 2 years. Others, you may be able to change easier with 1 year, you see. And that's the reason it was put in there, so that you may do it. It isn't mandatory.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you explained it, because it's had me with that in rotation. Then I thought, well, how in the world are you gonna rotate it unless you just do it every 2 years?
Well, here
And just
again
fill
was
in
to
its
let them
time.
stay in so that you would have a continuity of
Yes.
what's happening. From year to year to year.
It may be even not necessarily so.
That's right.
Good.
Any further business? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
The shortest meeting.
Lewis says I must
What
take.
was that?